When most people think of mania or hypomania, especially those who don't live with bipolar, they picture someone who's happy, energetic, fast talking, not sleeping, basically the results that come from a typical Google search. Today I want to explore 10 of the more subtle or misunderstood symptoms of mania and hypomania, things we might not consider related to the illness at all, things we might not even talk about. I don't need to make a big introduction, so let's get right to it. Number 1. Anger, irritability, or even rage. Mania isn't all puppies and rainbows. It can be downright toxic and mean. Before I knew what was going on with me, I was a slammer, slamming doors, car doors, saying horribly vindictive things to the people I love. I was miserable to be around. I had no idea that I was suffering from a treatable illness and was desperately trying to justify the fight or flight brewing inside of me. Here's what my brand of bipolar disorder is like. I typically go from stable to hypomanic, the feel-good kind. Towards the end of the episode, which doesn't take long considering I rapid cycle, I get burnt out biochemically. It's like too much of a good thing. This is where I get really irritable or easily angered. Then the crash comes. Wash, rinse, and repeat. So like I said, anger and irritability are absolutely symptoms we can experience while manic. Number 2, and I made an entire video about this one with over 1 million views and counting, hypersexuality. This is one of those symptoms that many of us are too embarrassed to talk about. Heck, even medical doctors hardly ever address it. I wish I had a single doctor point out that a noticeable increase in libido, engaging in risky sex, or excessive self-gratification were linked to my bipolar disorder. It would have made a big difference in my journey. There's a flip side to this coin though. Hyposexuality, the opposite of hypersexuality. This is where being sexual is like eating food when I'm stuffed. I just can't do it. It usually happens when I'm depressed. Both hyper and hyposexuality can be frustrating parts of my diagnosis. Number 3, changes in the eyes. My friend, author, and expert on bipolar, Julie A. Fast, has pioneered the study of mania and the eyes. She calls them bipolar eyes. I couldn't agree with her more. When I'm hypomanic, I have this wide-eyed, sparkly look to my eyes. I make eye contact a lot more with others. My partner, after being educated on this, can take one look at my face and tell if I'm experiencing an elevated mood. It's been very useful. Number 4. As pointed out by Psych Central, many of us living with bipolar disorder may experience periods of psychomotor agitation. These are uncontrollable or unconscious movements we make because of feeling anxious or restless inside. They can also occur in a variety of physical and mental health conditions, so it's not just isolated to bipolar disorder. Examples would be fidgeting, pacing, picking at the skin, grinding teeth, continually adjusting your clothing, unable to sit still, randomly moving objects around, tapping, hand-wringing, etc. Doctors often miss these symptoms or chalk them up to ADHD, anxiety, or substance use. It's a little more complex than that. Number 5, disinhibition. This is where we can't seem to control or regulate our behaviors, actions, or desires like we normally would. Like the expression, throwing caution to the wind. We might start binge drinking and go for a drive. We might start spending a bunch of money on things we'll regret later. Some of us eat a bunch of things we normally wouldn't, or take drugs in ways we normally wouldn't. I've lost jobs, risked my safety and health, put others at risk. I've literally done some of the worst damage in my life because of being disinhibited. Number 6, altered perception. When I'm on the manic side of the spectrum, life is more vivid. Music sounds better, colors are brighter, shows and movies are more entertaining. I feel more attractive as a person. I might believe I can change the world or that my situation isn't as bad as it is. To this day, it still blows my mind how much my perception of things changes with my episodes, night and day. Number 7, being able to go with little or no sleep for days or even weeks is possible. With certain types of mania, we might have endless energy with almost zero sleep. That sounds like a dream come true to most people, but for us, it's a nightmare. Not to mention how hard it is on our health. I've had lots of people, including medical staff, who assumed I was just high on drugs, when in all reality, I was high on my illness. Studies point out that nearly 100% of people with bipolar have sleep issues, need less sleep, or don't want to sleep at all while experiencing mania. I've always said that sleep is the air and water of bipolar wellness. That's really true. A lack of consistent sleep can even trigger my mania. Once it's triggered, it's nearly impossible to sleep. That is, until my whole life crashes. What goes up must come down. Not fun. Number 8, our level of creativity changes. Now, before I get into this one, I'm not saying that all people with bipolar are these creative geniuses. That's a myth. However, our desire to be creative and the energy we have to put towards said creativity can be enhanced by mania. We might have all these ideas we might not have otherwise come up with. We might get overly enthusiastic about a specific hobby or obsess over doing it. We might feel inspired to make music, to dance more, cook more, spend hours on a specific craft, or many for that matter. We basically have more energy, motivation, and for some of us, focus to do the things we enjoy doing. I've actually gotten really good, really fast at a lot of things over the years due to manic cycles. But they're both blessings and curses, people. Blessings and curses. Number 9. This is the darker side of bipolar disorder. This would be delusions and hallucinations. If we haven't slept in 2 weeks, hardly eaten, and are teetering on the edge of psychosis, it's possible to experience severe delusions and in some cases hallucinations. The only time I've ever experienced symptoms like this was when I went from hypomanic to manic to full-blown manic and then beyond that to bipolar psychosis. It's like the end of the road for me, and I'm almost always hospitalized. This is why managing my illness is so vital. I know firsthand how bad things can get now. Please keep in mind that not everyone with bipolar disorder hallucinates or gets delusional. It's one of the more extreme symptoms, and it happens a lot more when people are undiagnosed and untreated. Number 10, obsessive cleaning. Whether that means my home or my body, I'm always more attentive to cleaning when I'm manic. I might do the kind of cleaning where I'm on the ground using an old toothbrush to clean the cracks of the baseboards. Other times I might shower and shave more often than usual. Here's the thing. When I get depressed, I fall behind on all my cleaning. Dishes pile up and the shower stays dry. There's always a lot to do when I come out of a depressive cycle, so I tend to obsess over it, doing way too much all at once, so I can get my place back to happy and clean, not depressing and dirty. If you've made it to this point in the video, you're awesome. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. It increases the chances that someone else out there might find Polar Warriors on YouTube. If you want to go further, you can subscribe or join the conversation in the comments. Take extra good care, and I'll be back here soon with more Polar Warrior videos. Stay well.